Patsy, Connie, and loudmouth Linda, keeping it real, no agenda. Satire, truth, and a whole lot of fun. Politics, crime, we get it all done. From breaking news to a joke or two, we do it our way just for you. We just can't make this stuff up. 1 year strong and we ain't gonna stop. Mic in hand, voices loud, shouting truth, making you proud.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This morning, I'm a little tired, but I'm going to get through this. I have a couple errands I have to run later, so we're going to do about an hour and a half. You know, I was laughing this morning. I thought, Diddy didn't only hurt the people that were in his circle, but he's hurting my life. I'm not getting any sleep. And I'm sitting here listening to his craziness. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Pretty insane. So without further ado, let's get into now. Kid Cudi is not going to testify today, guys. It looks like it's going to be tomorrow. They're going to bring in doctors, psychologists. They're going to analyze Diddy's behavior and they're going to give their professional opinion. Well, we already all know, right? We already know that the man's crazy, itty bitty demon Diddy. We already know. We know. He's crazy. But let's go into what has happened already this morning. So I'm going to go back and start from the beginning. So Garagos said, in planning the search, you knew that none of the targets of the... Okay, wait a minute. Let's see here. Garagos, you found 6 people, kept them in handcuffs for an hour. And this is Agent Gannon. He's testifying. He says, there was one individual who wasn't happy with us and wasn't cooperating, so we kept him in handcuffs longer. Garagos said because he wasn't happy with the cuffs. And then Garagos said, in planning the search, you knew that none of the targets of the investigation would be there. Objection, judge said, overruled. The plan was to have him not there, but we had contingencies. And then let's get into, so the deputy said, we may take the sealed exhibit down. Garagos, Agent Gannon, you lived in Florida. Don't many people have guns in their homes there? And the prosecution, objection, judge said, rephrase. Do you have guns in your home? Gannon said, yes. No further questions. Judge said, redirect. The prosecution said, no. Next, government witness. The prosecution said, the government calls Dr. Don Hughes. What is your profession? Dr. Hughes said, clinical and forensic psychology. I treated people who were in World War II, which was such an honor. And then the prosecution said, how many times have you testified in court? Dr. Hughes said 60 or 65. And SDNY and ENDY and the Northern District. Also New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Virginia. Prosecution said we offered Dr. Hughes as an expert. Defense, no objection. So that's where we're at this moment. Good morning, Sputsy. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining me. So instead of having Kid Cudi on the stand this morning, we're going to go with a psychologist. And this person is going to analyze, did he never talk to him? Doesn't know much about him, but she's going to testify on her professional insights on Diddy. Now, wouldn't that be a good one? Wouldn't you like to be the one up there having to testify about how crazy this man is? I mean, I'm sure he falls into line of narcissist, schizophrenic, just out and out crazy, multiple personalities. I mean, we could find him under a whole lot of different things. Just a flat fruitcake. But that's what they're going to do this morning to kind of mold that look of crazy Diddy. Not demon Diddy, itty bitty demon Diddy. We're gonna show that he's crazy clown Diddy today. It's you guys, this thing is totally insane. Every day he comes up with something crazier. Okay, so the prosecution said, what do you anticipate covering? Dr. Hughes, why victims stay. Memory. The prosecution said, have you been retained by the government? Dr. Hughes, yes. What is your hourly rate? Dr. Hughes, 600, and then it says 6,000 for day in court. So 600 an hour or 6,000 for a day in court. And then the prosecution said, why do victims stay? And Dr. Hughes said they are psychological bonds, and the psychological consequences of the abuse. Prosecution said, why are the levels of fear? What are the levels of fear? Sorry. Dr. Hughes says it ranges from physical violence to butterflies. Violence doesn't have to happen all the time. Dr. Hughes is a woman, but yeah, it's nice work if you can get it. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. How many times? Okay, and we already went over that. How many times she's testified? So there you go. She is going to testify basically to Stockholm syndrome. Why do these people stay? Why did they put up with what they put up with? Why do they allow people to beat them and they continue to stay? So the prosecution said, what is psychological violence? Dr. Hughes, intimidation, throwing things, telling you what you can do and where you go. Defense. Objection. Judge, hold on. I'm going to strike that last answer. Well, doesn't that basically cover it? Intimidation, break down the person's confidence, entrap them, belittle them, beat them, and all else, drug them, whatever they have to do to tear up their foundation, the foundation they have. Now, you think about this. Cassie was a pretty strong person to get on the stand and even put out her dirty laundry for everyone to hear, right? But she was really strong to not be totally destroyed. I mean, totally destroyed. And I think she was strong because back in the day when Diddy just first met her, Beyonce and her were modeling together. And Carrie and Cassie was right up there with Beyonce. It just happened that Cassie ended up with a crazy lunatic and Beyonce ended up with Jay-Z, who lifted her up and made her feel like she was more important than she really is. I mean, she's all right, but I don't know if she's all that. Anyway, that's my own personal opinion. I think that we're going to find that Beyonce is going to be a little bit in this trial. We'll see. So, Kid Cudi is going to testify tomorrow. I think that that is going to be a big thing. I think Kid Cudi is going to put a big damper, let's say he's going to put a big nail in Diddy's coffin because he knows a lot more than a lot of other people. So we'll see. We will see. I am so here for it. I would like to know what this psychologist really thinks of Diddy. What how would you analyze his behavior? What do you think is wrong with him? Do you think he is rehabilitatable? I guess if that's a word. If not, I'll just make it up. Do you think he can be rehabilitated? Now, there's a good question. I doubt it. Oh, I doubt it. I don't see that he can be rehabilitated. I don't think somebody that crazy can. But they've gotten away with it. They've rehabilitated worse, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know if I've seen anybody worse than Diddy. So the prosecution to Mitzi Steiner said, "What can be the role of sexual abuse?" Dr. Hughes, it puts the victim in significant psychological fear. The prosecution, why does it prevent leaving? Why does it prevent leaving? Dr. Hughes, shame, um, degrading. Why don't they want to think about it? And then the prosecution said, "What is emotional abuse?" Dr. Hughes said, "Putting down our partner, feeling like a piece of crap." Prosecution, "What about financial dependency?" Dr. Hughes said, "The abuse controls housing and transportation, taking away her laptop." Defense, objection. The judge said, sustained. I mean, we already know. He controlled everything. He controlled where she went, who she was with, what she did, what she wore, what she ate, who she talked to. All of this stuff. All of this stuff was Diddy's. I mean, you could almost put him next to an occult leader, don't you think? I mean, he's disgusting. And he controlled her. Totally controlled her. And, one of those being sexual abuse. I mean, sexual abuse is a big one. It's degrading, right? Sexual abuse on a woman is almost mind shattering. It's mind shattering. He didn't even have to really, I think that, and this is my own personal opinion, but I think that he could have beat her physically and not did near the damage that he did with the sexual abuse. I mean, when it comes to sexual abuse, it's earth shattering. And this is what Diddy did. He knew exactly what to do to tear her down. But what he did is he had to go in and talk about how wonderful you are. Let's get the narrative. Let's show the path. You're so wonderful. You're so beautiful. You're so talented. I want you with me. I think the world of you. You are, and just blew up her confidence and told her, "I'm going to spend all this money on you. I'm going to give you all these albums. I'm going to show you what life is all about. I'm going to make you famous." And she was 19 years old. Let's remember that. And all she saw was money and stardom, and he thinks I'm wonderful. And this is coming from somebody who's made it. And I'll do whatever it is that he wants me to do to get to the end goal. Well, guess what? He never gave her but one album. you know, he beat her down after he got her and showed her and gave her a taste of what the elite life, if you want to call it that. I'd rather be broke on the streets eating dirt. But he showed her the elite life, what it's like to go to these fancy parties and dress in fancy clothes and eat fancy food and all this kind of stuff. He gave her a taste of that. And then what happened? Then slowly he began to tear her down. He had her watched every place she went. He beat her. He financially strained her. Kidnapping is a part of the RICO. Did he kidnap her? Well, yeah. After he beat her, he locked her in a hotel room until the bruises went away. He had food delivered to the hotel room. Really? Really? You had food delivered to the hotel room so nobody could see that you've done this horrible thing to her? Yeah, that's kidnapping, guys. That's right there along that RICO charge. And the control, that's along that RICO charge. Then what does he do? He extorts her mother. Well, when you hear that he charged the mother $20,000 to recoup the money he had put into Cassie. Do you not hear that? $20,000. Then Cassie had no money, no control. He paid for everything, right? She had no money. Because I think if Cassie would have had some money, I think Cassie would have helped her mother pay that $20,000, and the mother wouldn't have had to take a personal loan to pay off Diddy. Right? Is that not blackmail when you say, you know what, if you don't give me this money, I'm going to exploit your daughter and I'm going to throw this nasty, horrible video of her out there so everyone can see it so that she can be totally degraded? The man has no conscience whatsoever. So let's see, is there anything else here? Okay, so what is emotional abuse? Dr. Hughes said, putting down our partner, making him feel like crap. Well, did he not do that? Absolutely, he did that. And then the prosecution said, what about financial dependency? Well, yeah, he paid for her apartment. He paid for her transportation. He bought her the Jaguar. He did all of that stuff. That's emotional abuse. So there you go. It's all coming to fruition. It's all coming out there. That's what's going on. He's molded this woman into, well, he's basically brainwashed her, right? Wouldn't you call it brainwashing? So in having this psychologist up on the stand right now, we have the psychologist up on the stand talking about what is violence, what is abuse, what is sexual abuse, what is abuse where he's financially abusing her. The psychologist is testifying to that right now. Now, I just really can't wait for Kid Cudi to get on the stand and tell his part of it. But right now, this is what we're hearing, that how he demeaned her. And they keep pointing at Cassie and saying how he demeaned her and he did this to her, don't you think for one second that he didn't do this to everyone in his circle? Okay. He did this to everyone that was a part of his circle. He demeaned, he degraded, he threw things at people. The man is a piece of work, and I'm not telling you as far as art. The man is a piece of work. And I don't think that they can only just put on their narcissist as far as his diagnosis. The man is, wow. I'm sure that there's a lot of other things they could put on there for his label. And do I think I'm going back with Ole Pee here. Do you guys think that after this is all said and done, now you know that Diddy won't testify till towards the end of the trial. After all these people get up and talk about what a crude, mind-controlling, narcissist, little bitty demon Diddy was, do you think that he's going to want to get up? Good morning, Royal Apple. Yeah, do you think for 1 second, I got to ask you, do you think for 1 second he's going to get on the stand after they have cut and demolished and told you exactly what a narcissistic jerk he was? Do you think he's going to get up there? He might. He might feel like he's got to get up there and defend himself, defend his honor, the weirdo. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out exactly what a weirdo he is. I think he may feel like he needs to defend himself. How many people are going to testify in his honor? Kid Cudi's tomorrow. I mean, everybody has got it pretty much cut and dried. If you can overlay all of these testimonies in court, and they're all basically the same, but just using a little bit different words. And the spotlight is what, on Cassie, for that he abused Cassie? Didn't he abuse everyone? I mean, his security worked 20 hours a day. And one said he only got 1 day off a month. 20 hours a day and 1 day off a month. So, and he made $70,000 a year. Let's see, what does Rail say? The way they have currency in the jail is amazing. Old-fashioned one. Yep. And they said right now, Diddy has, now see, this was interesting. Diddy has $50 million in cash laying around. Really? So, when he went to New York and he was going to do his freak off party, this just came out. Do you know that he was planning on, he had his jet fueled up and everything. He was planning on leaving the country. He was going to do his last freak off, and then he was going to leave the country. So the feds came in and arrested him right there. That's why Diddy didn't get a chance to go to court and give himself up, because he had other plans. He was planning on leaving the country, taking his daughter and leaving the country. He had thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in cash. And like I said, he had 50 million in cash sitting in his mansion. Who has 50? I mean, think about that. $50 million in cash laying around your house. I don't care if you're a billionaire, but $50 million in cash. This man knew he was going to get caught. He knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was going to have to grab his cash and run. And he wanted that one last freak off. Come on, let me have this one last freak off. and then I'll turn myself in. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You weren't going to turn yourself in. You were going to run. And guess what? They caught you before it ever happened. So, him sitting there trying to pull the, guess what? I wasn't going to run. I was going to turn myself in. They didn't have to come arrest me. I was going to give myself up. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wasn't going to give himself up. He was going to do his last freak off, and he had his jet waiting on the tarmac, all gassed up, ready to go. He was going to Italy, and he was going to run. And his plans just didn't work out. He tries to come up to be this upstanding citizen. He's not upstanding, he's a jerk. What do you guys think? I would love to hear. Do y'all really think that he's going to testify for himself in court? I would love to know what you guys think. I know there's a little side bet between me and Woofy, but really, seriously, do you think after all these people come forward and they go in and they say, hey, you know what, this is what's going on, and they tear him down into the little shreds that they need to, do you really think that he's gonna testify and try to tell everybody what a great guy he is? Maybe. Maybe he'll feel like he needs to defend himself. I don't know. I don't think it's going to help him any, because I really just don't think that he has a leg to stand on. I think that Diddy is going to be crucified. That's what I think. I think Diddy is going to do the damage to himself. That's what I think. I think Diddy is going to, everyone is going to tear Diddy down, destroy Diddy, show you the real truth, set the light on how the little itty bitty Diddy, demon Diddy, was a horrible person, and he coerced people and he extorted people and he mind controlled people. I don't know if he's going to be able to get on the stand and defend himself. But according to what I understand in the background, there is one juror that isn't buying all this. Kind of thinks that she's kind of thinking that Diddy may not be guilty. And if that's the case, he's going to get a hung jury. And if that's the case, they'll have to either A, retry it, or B, he'll walk. Come on, guys. This man does not need to walk. Too many people have testified about how violent he is. Don't you think? Okay, let's talk about this. Don't you think that if this man walks, it will blow up his ego? Then he really will believe that he's above the law. I don't see him walking. I'm sorry. I just don't. But, anything's possible. I just hope that just doesn't happen. I really do. I think that when you do something and it's this vile and this horrible and this horrendous, I think you need to do your time. You did the crime, do your time. And itty bitty demon Diddy needs to do his time. He doesn't need to have his confidence inflated and walk. But, they said there's one person on the jury that, okay, so it says Prosecution said, "Are you familiar with love bombing?" Dr. Hughes said, That's the honeymoon phase. The abuser showers her with gifts and affection to get her back. The prosecution says, Does the attempt to leave happen over time? Dr. Hughes said, yes, it takes multiple attempts. Prosecution said, which is the most common coping mechanism? Dr. Hughes said, trying to work it out because of the trauma bond. You don't want to lose your partner. Prosecution said, personal coping mechanisms. How does that placently or appease work? Dr. Hughes said, we're trying to avoid abuse. So, Diddy was a love bomber. Showered her with gifts after he tore her down. Here, let me, now that I've tore you down and I've made you feel horrible about yourself and took away your self-esteem. Oh, okay. Well, here, let me give you some gifts now. Here, let me shower you with some real expensive gifts so that I can inflate your feelings. No, Diddy. You knew exactly what you were doing and you knew how to get away with it. And that's what love bombing is. He tore her down continuously. The way Dr. Hughes says it, it takes multiple times to leave. They leave, they love bomb them, they come back, they get right back into it again. You know, you're the most important person in my life. How many times do you think that Cassie said, well, if I'm the most important person in your life, why are you doing this to me? Why are you tearing me down? Why are you making me do all of this sex acts? And I want a relationship with just you. Can't you hear him? Well, honey, this is the way I like it. And if you want to please me, this is how you need to do it. But I love you. Oh, no. No. Diddy loves Diddy. Absolutely. Absolutely. He loves his control. He loves to be the director, the producer, the writer, the whole show. Put it all around Diddy. I'm the director, the writer, the producer, and the background actor, telling you this is the way you're going to do it. This is how you're going to do it. This is why you're going to do it that way. Oh, wait a minute. You're going too fast. Let's slow it down. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine ever going through anything like this. And then he showered her with gifts. I mean, come on. Really? You're going to shower people with gifts? This is what you're going to do after you've totally destroyed them? You're right, Spudsy. Love bombing is narcissistic trait, and he is definitely a narcissist. We've already figured that part out. We've got him into that narcissistic category, don't we? Yep. He's definitely fits the mold for that. But what other things does he fit the mold for? Couldn't he fall under the MK Ultra with all of his drug controls? Mind control? Right? What else can he fall under? He's definitely, we already know he's a demon, demon sent straight from hell. He's abusive. He's controlling. What else is he? I mean, What other categories can he fall under? He's definitely more than just a narcissist. And is it illegal to be a narcissist? I don't think so. But his actions are definitely illegal. He definitely has kidnapping under his charges. He kidnapped her and everyone else that he beat. He hid them in rooms and sent them. One time he sent, was it Kim Porter? He sent to Mexico for 11 days because he didn't want anyone to see how bad he beat her. There you go. There you go. He did all kinds of horrible things to people, and he controlled them, and kidnapping's got to be at the top of the list. Here, we're going to lock you in this room, and when the bruises and everything goes away, then we're going to let you go. Oh, but wait a minute, you're going to come back next week because we're going to do this again. Right? He is evil. He's evil. I can't imagine, and they say they've got one juror on the jury that doesn't think he's guilty. How? I mean, with 8 days of testimony, he's guilty. How can you have any doubt in your mind that he's not? Unbelievable. I mean, everybody else out here thinks he's guilty. You know what? Let's do a poll. How many of you believe he'll walk? Give me a 1 if you think he'll walk. Give me a 2 if you think he'll be found guilty. Because, he could walk. He could walk. If this one juror says that he's not guilty, he could walk. Now, isn't that a scary thought? I don't know. I just pray that he gets what he has coming to him. I pray that he does time. I pray that when he gets there that people beat on him like he beat on everybody else. I mean, I kind of believe what the Bible says, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. When it comes to somebody like this, maybe they can beat Jesus into him and he'll fall on his knees and ask for forgiveness. Maybe. I mean, anything's possible at this point. It's still at, do you believe he's a love bombing? Okay, let's see. Okay, so the prosecution said, what is a minimization? Minimization. You know what, guys? My mouth is just not working today. And Dr. Hughes said, the victim says maybe they had a bad day at work. Maybe they were intoxicated. It's a way to stay in a relationship, but it increases their risk. It's not a long-term strategy. It gets them from one assaultive episode to the next. The prosecution said, what about the power relation? Dr. Hughes says a person can have power as principal of a school. The victim asks, who is going to believe me? Prosecution said, when does the victim finally speak? Dr. Hughes says, in a safe environment or after psychological help. Well, okay, so do you think that Diddy has had psychological help? Do you think he's ever been even in therapy? Do you think he thinks he's got a problem? Do you think he seeks therapy? No, he thinks that he is above the law. He believes he's a little minion God, and he believes that what he says and what goes from here, he has control. He is the master of everything. Do you know when they went in to interview in his office, he had a great, I already told you this yesterday, but he had this great big picture of himself, and the person doing the interviewing pointed up at the picture and said, "This is his kingdom and this is who we serve." Think about that. Is that not scary? This is who we serve. Wow. Just wow. I mean, really? No, he's not who I serve. Absolutely not. And he is definitely, I mean, he is a disgusting human being who has coerced and controlled many, and he thinks that he is God. There you go. That's it. All wrapped, all molded and put and wrapped up in a little package for you with a great big bow. He doesn't feel like he has a problem. He doesn't feel like, I don't have a problem. What do you mean? Well, I don't have a problem. Yes, 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 you do have a problem. You have a problem, and yeah, sorry. You're a demon, and you belong in jail for life. Do we think for 1 second that do we think I would like to know how many people really think that he can be rehabilitated. How many of you all think that he could be rehabilitated? Do you think he could be really rehabilitated? I don't. I don't think he thinks he has a problem. How do you rehabilitate somebody who doesn't believe they have a problem? I don't have a problem. Everybody else has a problem. No one will listen to me. That's the problem. I just, I don't think he can be rehabilitated. Yeah. No, Sputsy, I don't think so. Because he doesn't see there's a problem. Any kind of help, whether it be AA or whether it be, um, you know, any kind of drug addiction or any of this kind of thing, you have to go in and you have to say, they have sex addicts, and I think that he falls under that category. But any of these kind of things, you have to step forward and you have to say, I have a problem. This is what I am. I have a problem. Right? He grew up that way. He did. He grew up that way. Maybe his weirdo mom should have taken him to therapy when he was little. But you know what? Really? She didn't think she had a problem either. Her comment was, this is the oldest profession known to man. So she was saying being a prostitute was okay. Being a madam was okay because it's the oldest career out there. Well, come on. Okay, if this is what you want to do and this is what you decide to do, all right, then do it. Whatever. If you want to sell your body, go ahead, whatever. If you are okay with it and you're saying it's okay, all right, fine. These people did not say it was okay. These people did not want to do this. They were asking not to. You know, they didn't say, hey, I want to go to a freak off. Hey, I want to be a part of the freak off. Hey, I want to be the star of the freak off. Hey, I want you to record me so you have blackmail on me so you can throw my everything I've got out there so the public can see what you have done to me. That's not what would happen. If you would have thrown those tapes out there, it wouldn't have been, this is what Diddy did to me. It would have said, you know what? Look at, she's gross, she's kinky, she's nasty. Diddy's name would have never gotten in the picture. His, you know, he had all of this orchestrated beautifully on how he could control people. And this is what he did. This is what he did. All the flags of a narcissist, right, Sputsy? Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable how this man controlled everyone. And he did. He controlled everyone. Wow. Wow. You know, it's really, really sad. It is so sad how he controlled people. And you know, when he beat people and he demeaned people. I mean, I keep going over it, and I know I sound repetitive, but I wanted to get into everybody's mind just how bad he was. Don't say it was Cassie's fault. I am so tired of hearing it was Cassie's fault. She said it was okay. Did she? Did she really? Did she say it was okay? I don't think she did. I don't think she did say it was okay. I think that he had her brainwashed to the point that she was doing something loving for him. Right. You know what? Right. Spudsy, very stupid, and stupidity has a habit of getting in its way. You know, I think I think that Cassie loved Diddy so much that she would have done anything. She would have walked through fire for him. And that's what's sad because Diddy never even, I don't think that Diddy cared one iota for her. I think that he knew exactly what he was going to do. I think he knew exactly where he was going to take it to. And I think he knew exactly how he was going to destroy her. And it's sad, guys, that people out there are that evil that they would do something like that to another human being and then turn around and say it's love. Oh, let's wrap love around this now. Let's put love around this with a great big bow. I loved her. This was all in love, he said. It's all in love. We're doing all of this because it's all about love. Well, in the last 8 days, I don't know how you feel, but I have not heard anything that even resembles love or reflects love at all. All I'm hearing is evil, mean, horrible, degrading things, and I don't see where you could put love anywhere around that. Good morning, Nana Tefor. How are you? Right now, we have a this morning we have a psychologist on the stand. Kid Cudi's not going to testify until tomorrow. She's analyzing everything that Diddy did and how he love bombed people and how he did all of this kind of stuff. You know, okay, you know, here's a question I have for everyone, and I want somebody to give me the answer to this. Why was it called a freak off? Was he the freak? Why was it called a freak off? Because only freaks do this kind of thing? I mean, the definition of freak is odd and weird, but he wants to wrap love around this. It's all about love. Why was it called a freak off? He probably could have come up with something a little better to call it. But no, I mean, definition of freak off, he has definitely got it right. It's a freak off because he's a freak and he got off. I mean, guys, unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I think they must be at a sidebar right now or taking a break because I haven't. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. All right. So the prosecution said, what type of language do victims use when they first speak of it? And Dr. Hughes said they minimize, they are they are piecemeal. They remember the chipping paint on the ceiling, the smell of alcohol on the perpetrator's breath. Wow. Wow. How sad. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I remember the smell of alcohol on their breath, and I remember looking at the ceiling watching the paint peel while they did all these unspeakable acts to me. Wow. Unbelievable. Huh. It is unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, it's going to take years and years and years and years of therapy for Cassie to ever get over all of this, if she ever does. She went through this for 10 years. It is. Now, before it is, it's like watching a movie, like The Burning Bed and all this. And I think it's actually amazing that Cassie did not unalive him. Of course, Diddy had more money than most of these crazy movies that we watch of this abuse. He had his little minions watching over him and protecting him. Justice will come when he goes to prison, and there is a whole different kind of law in prison. Those prisoners will say, now you're in our world. This is our kingdom. We do not serve that man. We serve justice, or their kind of justice. Yeah, The Burning Bed with Farrah Fawcett. That was, well, and what was the one that Farrah Fawcett was in that she got that man and had him in the fireplace and she wasn't going to let him live? Remember that one? That was another one that Farrah Fawcett was in. That was crazy. Yeah, I am looking here for any updates. I don't see any at this time. Yeah. Well, you think that prison's too good for him. I think it's too good for him. I think they need to dig a hole and put just a little grater on top of it, and he can and make it where it's just enough for his body to go around. And then they can throw slop through the grades to feed him. But, the United States wouldn't do anything so degrading. So He'll go into prison, but you know what? Those prisoners will take care of him. They will. Diddy's going to get beaten. Maybe that's why he saved his 50 million in cash, so that somebody could go put it in a bank so that they could put it on his commissary to have him protected. You got to know that Diddy knew. You got to know in your heart of hearts, Diddy knew he was going to get busted. He had to know. He had to know that there was no way he was going to get away with this. No way. Extremities. Yeah. Yeah. He thought he was above the law. He thought that he could get away with it. He thought that he had the perfect life and no one was going to touch him. He had people in high places in his pocket. They already said that Barack Obama has been subpoenaed. Yeah, I want to see that one, don't you? Aren't y'all excited to hear what Barack Obama has to say? I am. He's been subpoenaed. Nana Tafur, he never was subpoenaed. That's why. But now he's been subpoenaed. Wow. Wow. So Barack Obama's going to take the stand. When is that going to happen? What does he have to say? When the feds subpoena you, you have to show up, whether you're ex-president, former president, whatever position you held, you have to show up. Right? Right? So here we go. We'll get him on the stand and we'll say, so how many freak off parties did you attend, Barack? Did you participate in any of the freak offs, Barack? Was your wife with you, Barack? Who else was with you? Who else did you take? Oh, is that how Akeem Jeffries learned about the freak offs, Barack? Did you take him there? Oh, it's gonna be so good. And I'm here for it. I am here to see what Barack Obama has to say on the stand. It's gonna be good. Oh, I didn't do anything. Oh no, I just went for the early part. Everyone knew to leave before 9 o'clock. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, and I'm here for all of it. Let's see. Let's subpoena Akeem Jeffries too. Okay, let's make sure he shows up in court because I want to know what he's got to say too. It's insane with a capital I. That man is disgusting, and he gets away with it. Wow. Wow. Or he thinks he's going to get away with it. He really believes. I wonder what the little minion on the court, on the jury that can't find him guilty, that is questioning anything at this point. He's questioned. How can you question that the man is not an evil demon? Everything that's came out, how can you not find him guilty? And there's one on the jury going, well, they need to show more evidence. Oh, good, Nana Tafur. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm glad that the doctor called you in some medicine. And I'm glad you're going to get to feeling better. That makes me extremely happy. So the list just gets bigger. Tomorrow will be Kid Cudi because this psychologist is going to take the whole day. Oh, well, what? You don't think that Kanye West will probably be subpoenaed? Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he will. You know, we have 190 people that are good. Well, a bunch of them are going to testify. There's 190 people involved. And we still have, what, 47 days or whatever? Yeah. There's a lot of people that are going to come up. Kid Cudi's tomorrow. I didn't know about this. And don't you know that the night before, they're probably going, oh, wait a minute. Now we're going to add this one to the witness list. Oh, now we're going to add this one to the witness list. You know, the 190 is just building. Diddy made a mistake. He said, I want a fast and easy trial. Well, guess what? It's going to go fast, 50 days. And the coffin just keeps getting built. And do you know they said that he, in court this morning, when he went to court, he had his head in his hands and he looked like he was distraught. What? Your demons are coming to roost. All of it's coming out, Diddy, and you didn't ever think it would. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable that this man ever thought he was above the law and that he ever thought for 1 second he could get away with it. Because you know what? He's not going to get away with it. God's not going to let him get away with it. Man's going to prison and he's going to spend a lot of time there. And whether he spends, now here's my thing. I want him to spend a little bit of time before somebody offs him, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if when he goes in here, he doesn't just get off to automatically get Epsteined in the first couple days that he's there. You know, is that going to happen? Is that going to happen? Is he going to get Epstein immediately? I don't know. I don't know. But I do think that there's going to be a lot of beatings involved before. Maybe these people will just beat him and abuse him and everything. And then, you know, make his life a living hell for about 10 years like Cassie had to go through. And then they can off him. Wouldn't that be nice? You know, isn't that an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth? I think so. I think so. Let's let him live in pure torture for 10 years like he did Cassie. Yeah, I'm with you. I hope God doesn't let him get away with this because, well, and you know, I've talked about this before. Don't you know that these feds have some other things on the back burner? Don't you think that they think, well, you know, if he gets away with this, we've got some other things that we're going to bring up. He's coming right back to court. Don't let him out. We've got some more things we need to go over that were not introduced in this one. Well, I hope he's in general population the minute he gets there, but you're probably right because he's high profile. Well, maybe they'll give him a narcissistic roommate. Wouldn't that be nice? Here, we're going to give you this roommate, and he's going to beat on you, and he's going to want to control you, and you're going to get the same treatment from this man for 10 years. Although, you know, I'm going to say, I think Diddy is evil enough that he might be able to turn his roommate. You know what I mean? This man is so evil that he might be able to turn the narcissist roommate into his controlled minion. I don't know what else to call it. I just cannot imagine a man having that much control over anyone. Although, you know, I'm sure with the beatings and everything else, you know, he's going to have control. I think he should go to prison for the rest of his life for just doing just that alone. Ruining people's lives. I think he should go to prison for the rest of his life. All right. So they're at the sidebar and then cross examination. That's what I figured. They were at a sidebar. In the cross examination, it will be by Jonathan Bach, Alexandria Shapiro's husband, only recently bought on Combs' 10th lawyer. Ah, isn't that funny? His 10th lawyer. That's insane. Combs Bach says you observe them closely. Their cognitive style, Dr. Hughes said, yes. People don't fit into boxes, right? Dr. Hughes said, they are categories, Bach said, but you have to listen to particular individuals, right? Dr. Hughes said, I'm not divorced from my training. Well, I'm sure that everybody doesn't fit into these little boxes and it's all perfect, but red flags always are there. And narcissists don't act exactly the same way, but they are still narcissists, right? They're all categorized as being this is what you are. These are the red flags that you've shown. And every narcissistic red flag Diddy has shown. Yeah, every one of them. He is, every narcissistic person are very charismatic, right? Well, let's give the little itty bitty Diddy demon, let's give him that. He's charismatic, and then after that, then he becomes abusive and violent. Yeah, he's a piece of work. I'm telling you, the man's a piece of work. Mm-mm-mm. Unbelievable what he has gotten away with. Or he thinks he's gotten away with. How about that? Let's don't go there. He has not gotten away with it yet. But they're saying in the background that he's got a person on his jury right now that believes that, he may be innocent of all of this. And Cassie asked for this treatment, and Cassie said she would do it. And that's what makes Diddy innocent. Don't you believe for once, don't you believe that if and when, or if it happens that he walks away, that his ego will be inflated to the max? I know now before he has 10 lawyers and two have quit. He's had to hire two more. One lawyer said, I'm not having anything to do with this. He makes me sick. How about that one? And he quits. They keep dropping off. They see these freak off tapes and they see what he's done and how he's controlled it and the kind of person he is, and they back away. They go, no, I'm not defending this man. This man needs to go to jail for the rest of his life. I'm sure the attorneys who have dropped out feel that way. Because how can you not feel that way? I am looking for any updates and I don't see any so far. Let's see. Yeah, they want to put them all in a neat little box and say, well, this is what they are. This is what they are. Yes, Bach is a new attorney. Yeah, they're at sidebar. Again. I'm telling you, they might as well run this case at sidebar because they spend a lot of time up there. It's insane, guys. It's just insane. Any way you look at it, any way you slice it and dice it, Diddy is a itty bitty Diddy demon. The demon Diddy. And I think that that should be put on his cell in a little plaque, like you do the animals at the zoo. This is a polar bear. Blah 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 blah. This is the itty bitty ditty demon. Or we could say, this is the itty bitty demon Diddy. There we go. That sounds better. So we're going to make a little plaque and put it on the outside of his cell so when everybody walks by, they can see him in there with his little sign, just like the scarlet letter. He's just sickening. And there you go. There you go. He's just insane. And people like that are criminally insane belong incarcerated so they can't harm other people, right? That's the way I feel about it. I definitely feel that way. All right, guys, I have gone a little over an hour this morning. Thank you so much for spending this morning with me. I'll be back on in the morning. As you can hear, I got some allergies happening and my throat is a little sore from all the drainage. I'm going to take something for it today. I've got a few errands to run and I will be back with you in the morning. So, love to all, and I will, what is this? Let me see something here. Nana said, well, the old saying of men with little d. Right? He's a little ditty. All right, so I love you all. Thanks for being with me this morning. I will be on in the morning. And I will catch up on anything that goes on through today. I just have a few errands I need to run this morning and get them taken care of. So y'all take care, and we will see you tomorrow. Please like, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe on your way out the door. See ya.
From shady news to crime so rough, you already know we just can't make this stuff.